Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Let's talk about Windows computers. Not Windows 11, not Windows 10, just Windows computers in general. We'll pick on the operating system a little bit too while we're at it. But pros and cons, man, there's definitely lots of them, I'm sure, we can come up with. So, in the Windows environment, if you've been around it long enough, you'll know they don't really have any real security out there. I mean, they get hacked easy, they get virused easy. There's nothing you can do to stop from getting hacked on a Windows computer except to stay off the internet. That'd be like your best option. 5,000 firewalls later, I mean, you got an open port, a hacker gets in. They know every port possible, so one way or another, they can get in. They may have to go through some layers of security that you set up, but they're going to eventually get in no matter what. And it's really not that difficult to do it on a Windows system. So that is a big problem that's always been around there in the Windows environment. Okay. Also, viruses. Very easy to write, very easy to cause a lot of destructive behavior. That's for damn sure. Okay. So there is that part of it. All right. They are very fast, zippy little machines, mostly because Windows is nothing more than an application hovering over top of a command line interface system, so therefore not really a true solid operating system, technically. Okay? So there is that part that's still there even today in Windows 11. Okay? So, because even I can go in through the C prompt, I can get into the command sys files, the auto exec back files. I can manipulate as much as changing one character in either file and your system crashes completely. Okay? I can write a password system that is literally about 4 lines of code and you're never getting back into your computer again ever. Okay? Other than to take the hard drive out and or SSD if they are removable. If they're not, you're really screwed. Okay, but if they are removable, then yep, you can take it out, put it on another computer, get your crap back, not a big issue. Okay, otherwise, yeah, good luck ever getting back in your computer. I wrote that program, by the way, in 1982. No, 81. 81 or 82, I wrote that program. And I wrote it originally on an Apple computer, like an Apple II Plus computer of all things. And that same program works even on Windows computers today. So I'm proud of myself. Okay? Anyways, that simple and easy. Restart it? Oh, come on, Cookie. Yeah, I just updated DaVinci Resolve. Now, that is where we can get into some other stuff here. All right? Um, and that is when it comes to video editing and desktop publishing, graphic arts and design, 3D stuff. Windows computers are getting better at doing it. I'll give them that. And they are starting to slowly get quicker at it. They just still can't even compete to an M1, unfortunately, when it comes to export times. So that's kind of problematic. But hey, you know what? Maybe someday they'll catch up to Apple, okay? At least as far as that goes. They are getting better when it comes to screen technology for actual displays. And I'm not talking TV sets, I'm talking actually a real computer display. Let me just log back into this thing here. Oops, incorrect. Come on. There we go. So they are getting better. I'll give them that. And at least DaVinci is free. What Windows gives you in Windows 11 at least, because I don't even remember Windows 10. It's been so long since I ran it. But at least in Windows 11, they don't really give you anything. They give you this BS of a program that's cloud-based. And it's like, I don't want my stuff on the cloud because the cloud's been hacked before. It will be hacked again. No problem there. Okay, so I like my personal files and my other info kind of to myself. Okay, even on my Mac, I share my stuff, so there is some cloud stuff, but it's mainly just a couple of what do you call it, picture files, which I could care less if anybody stole them, you know, but otherwise that's pretty much about all that goes up in the cloud for me. Everything else stays on my phone, on my iPad, separate saving, no sharing allowed. Okay, but certain things I do allow only because, like I said, I could care less. But I don't like the cloud. it's not my thing. All right, if you like it, fine. You suffer the consequences when it gets hacked again. That's your problem, not mine to deal with. So, but being virused and hacked easily kind of really sucks too in the PC world. It's way too easy to write a virus, and it's way too easy to hack them, right? And that is definitely a problem even today. Okay, there's no way around it. So, and running multiple programs for antiviruses, by the way, they create viruses when you do that. So you pick one program to cover everything, and that is it. If you try running multiple stuff, they create havoc. They also make it a lot easier too for hackers to get through, because they also take down firewall protection as well. So that's another issue. But what do you do? I mean, you know. Anywho, gaming, totally unmatched. If you want to compare apples to oranges here, Apple Silicon computers still suck in the gaming world. Okay, I mean, they are getting Cyberpunk finally, and I think it's the newest version, from what I understand, of Cyberpunk. I'm still running an old version that actually runs on my 2-year-old laptop that's now so far out of date that I can get the same thing, but with, you know, DDR5 RAM, and I can get more RAM under the hood, and I can get, you know, faster drives in there now. Like, I'm already running Express 3 and Express 4, but I can even get even faster now in the new version of my laptop for the same damn money as I paid for this one 2 years ago. And I'm like, what? Seriously? Oh yeah, I kid you not. Now, mind you, the sucky part is it's still a 1080p display, which I find that's absolutely embarrassing to the Windows world. That, you know, there's not very many computers out there that have even a 2K level display, and any of that do seem to be not very powerful computers. Yet, why do you need that resolution? You don't. I mean, these aren't even good video editing machines. You need a gamer class computer for video editing in a PC. Like, that's pretty pathetic, right? That you should need that kind of horsepower and spend that kind of money. And it's still going to be slower than a Mac for the export times and stuff. I mean, do you want to wait around for 17 minutes? Fine. I'd rather have my stuff done in like 2 to 3 minutes tops. Okay, and even with the slowdown I got going on with the newest Mac OS Sequoia, it's still, we're at about 8.5 minutes difference now, where my PC is still that much slower than my Mac exporting the exact precise file. Even if I go DaVinci Resolve to DaVinci Resolve, it makes no difference. If I go, you know, iMovie to Movie Maker, which I'm actually quite surprised still runs under Windows 11. And this was, I got this as one of the last copies you could pull off the internet as a non-internet install version of the Windows Essentials kit. And all I install is the gallery and Movie Maker, because I love Movie Maker, to be honest. I mean, I do run PCs, and I can't tell you that I hate them. I can just tell you the goods and bads to them. I mean, I'm very careful what I do in my computer, and so I generally don't ever get hacked or virused, right? So, you know, and I know how to protect myself better than most people because, well, I am a technician, so, you know, I know a lot of things, right, to keep myself more secure. But even at that, I mean, you have to be willing to deal with certain things to do that. The other thing that annoys me is, as a negative on PCs, is the constant freaking Windows updates. If it's not one thing or another, it's just monotonous. It's every couple of days. Oh, we have a new Windows feature update for Windows 11, or we have this update and that update. Then you got to go to your advanced area for your optional updates, because Windows don't install everything for you, by the way. So now you got to go to advanced optionals, and that's going to have other drivers, maybe even some other security patches that aren't part of Windows normally. They're optional things. Well, I think they shouldn't be optional, okay? I mean, and I don't think these external drivers should be optional, because you need them for compatibility with other parts of Windows. So why not put everything in one spot? I mean, come on, Apple's smart enough to do that. Why can't the Windows world, right? But constant updates every couple days, It drives you nuts. I'd be surprised if I didn't have updates right now. I just updated this thing yesterday. Okay, so let's take a quick look at that. Check for updates. I'll be surprised if this thing doesn't come up with something. Okay, I'd be impressed actually too. And sure enough, security intelligence installing. Yep, so we got something there. Oh, wonderful. Oh, completed? Cool. Advanced. Do we have anything advanced? Well, that's a first. Congratulations. All right, so there you go. We still got another update either way, and this thing was already done yesterday. But I'll bet you by tomorrow I'll have more updates, or the next day. It's going to happen. I know it, right? Even my Armory Crate software that actually controls my system for a lot of things, it doesn't need to get updated that often, okay? And I checked this yesterday, there was nothing. So let's check for updates now and see if anything pops up. You never know, right? So there are definitely negatives here, and some serious negatives, okay? Hey, look at that, nothing, we're clean. How about that? Congratulations. Thank you, Armory Crate. You actually did your job. Now, there are plus sides, okay? So let's try and look at some plus sides here. Gaming. There is no better gaming platform out there when it comes to a computer system than a Windows computer. Apple went from having Intel chips that were fantastic for gaming if you had the right Mac with an Intel chip. So pony some dough. Otherwise, generally not always the greatest experience, even with running Windows. Some of them were just not the greatest, okay? But if you spent the money and you got a really good Mac, you could run Windows 10 on it, get 5K video games going on Windows 10, which I did even with Far Cry the original. Yep, I don't care if it's a 20-year-old game. Damn thing can do 5K on a 5K native screen, which didn't exist. And I'm still not sure they do yet. I have to look more into it. I have literally ignored everything this last year when it comes to computer advancements. I've been too damn busy getting ready for hunting for the first time in my life. So I've been dedicating all my time, energy, and a freaking boatload of money. I could have bought a really kick-ass M4 with what I spent on archery, but I wanted to go kill animals so I could, put some food in the freezer, you know what I mean? And so I haven't really kept up to date, but I do know that Dell has a really nice screen out now, but I'm not sure what the requirements are other than the port. You're definitely going to need some powerful video card to run a high-end display for even gaming, because even that's the thing too, like this is a 4K display at 60 hertz, but it doesn't matter what the refresh rate is. If you want to run games at 4K, you need a very, very powerful video card, and you better have some balls under the hood for a processor too in order for the games to run properly at that resolution. And I definitely have the balls for 4K, and I'm coming out the HDMI port on my laptop, and so I actually literally do run Far Cry even in 4K, and well, I'm going to show you that right now. And any of my other games that can run that high, I've got them. Even Minecraft, I got running Minecraft in 4K, because I want that resolution, that nice tight pixel, the really beautiful picture, right? And there's only one way to get that, higher resolution. But at the cost of performance too. I mean, normally Far Cry, if I run it at 1080p, I'm getting like 700-800 frames per second. If I run in 4K, well, I'm down to about 250, kind of thing, right? So if I go into options here under video, you can see here 3840 by 2160, 32-bit. And that's as high as that puppy can go, because that's as high as this screen goes. But I can also run it in 2K if I want, or any other combinations that they allow me. And the more I drop the resolution, of course, the faster the gameplay gets, but the crappier the picture gets. That's the other problem. The lower the resolution, the crappier the picture. Gamers like to have 1080p, and I understand that, but you really need to go to at least 2K or better, because if you want to snipe a guy in the frigging head at 1,000 yards, you're going to need a good enough display on your computer so you can actually see the guy's head. Okay, otherwise it's going to be a really dicey shot. Okay, at 4K, you're taking that shot really super easy. Like it is just like it's like cheating, literally. Okay, so I love having the high resolution. Same as Elder Scrolls, another fantastic game. Cyberpunk 2077, the original. I actually got this thing running at 100 FPS, even with a 4 gig graphics card. I did some serious tweaking to figure that one out. That was interesting. But even Apple's newest M4 under an emulator program to run Windows so that they could run Cyberpunk, they're still getting pretty crappy results. But good news is Cyberpunk is now going to be coming out with the newest version of Cyberpunk for the Mac, specifically for Apple Silicon, and it'll take advantage of Apple Silicon. So I'll be interested to see what kind of frame rate we get, because yeah, it better be able to at least keep up to my PC. Otherwise, I probably won't want to get into an M4. That might turn me off. I don't know. We'll have to see what kind of frame rate we get. But I'm not a big gamer on the Mac anyways. I use my Mac just for video and audio production purposes. I use my PC for gaming because that's all it's good for, in my opinion. Other than an emergency backup editor that I got to wait for, a couple thousand years for it to friggin' export. But hey, it's a friggin' Intel chip. What do you want? They're slow for doing this stuff. And that's with an 8-core chip yet. Oh my gosh. And I have RAM galore. I got a C drive that's running at over 5,000 megabytes per second. And it still takes almost 20 minutes to export a small friggin' 5-minute video even. That's pretty sad. Anyways, that's the way it is. All right, now at least I know I can delete these off my computer now that DaVinci's up to date. Let's see how that actually worked out for DaVinci. I guess it's out of there now. I gotta go back in here and I gotta find DaVinci. DaVinci's nice because it's the same on the Mac and the PC. Oh yeah, I gotta go under B, Blackmagic Design. Resolve. There we go. So anyway, we'll see how long this takes to boot. It's a pretty raunchy program. You definitely got to have a lot of RAM for DaVinci, I'll say that. Oh, this is a new interface. Yeah, start. Let's see how fast you can start up. Version 19. Guess I'm going to have to update my Mac too now. Apple will have the same exact updates. They have this program identical for both platforms. It's kind of crazy. And there we go. DaVinci's up. Woohoo! All right. It's a nice video editor and free. Like I said, there's only about 4 filters that you don't get in the free version. So if you do need them, you're going to have to pony up. I think the program costs almost $500 last time I checked. It is expensive either way. Final Cut Pro's less money. But DaVinci's nice. And I like the fact that now we have a real video editor. We don't have to deal with the Windows built-in garbage. But we have no audio software built into Windows. Nothing for doing any kind of pro-level recording. Apple at least gives that to you for free. In Windows, you get nothing. At least nothing that can do anything real. But anyhow, there are definitely the goods and bads. I think there's more bads than there are goods overall in a Windows environment. But they are cheaper to buy. They are still, at least laptops and desktops, are very upgradable by the end user, and it's very easy to do. Even any laptop is easy to do, especially if you got a bunch of screws to take out, just put them in the exact same precise order and pattern as you took them out. This way, if you got different length screws, which can happen, at least you know exactly what holes they go back into. And it's really easy to pop a PC laptop apart to upgrade it. But it is very sad that to get something with a 2K resolution, even in a laptop, it's not a performance machine, right? And it's like, why bother? There's no point to this. We can't even do video editing. It doesn't even have the processing power to do video editing without having a meltdown. Why did you do this to us? And then still give you a crappy friggin' camera built into the Windows laptop. That's horrifying. Apple's doing far better, has done far better, has been doing far better for years and years, even before Apple Silicon came out. We always had better cameras and better screen resolutions too. And it's kind of like, let's weigh the differences here. You know what I mean? But I'm just telling you how it is, and I'm telling you from personal experience too. And yes, there are some things I am behind on, and I realize that, and that's fine. I will catch up now that hunting season is over. Um, but I've been looking at a replacement laptop. I've been looking at another Asus actually, to be honest, and I've been looking at an HP Omen, and I'm kind of split between the two right now. But I'm also thinking about an M4 system. At the same time, but it's like buy one or the other. Which one will do me more good? Well, the Mac will, but because my PC is still playing my games fine that I like to play, so really I have no need to upgrade. It'd be more like a want than a need, and I kind of really would rather have something that I actually need that's productive. But yeah, that's I think we're pretty much solid on this. I'm probably missed a few things on the bad side. Well, how about laptops are still made out of plastic for the most part. Most manufacturers, laptops are still plastic on PCs, and that's a bad thing. Really bad thing, actually. Very cheapy. And yet you can pay a lot of money even for a Windows laptop. I've seen Windows laptops for like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. They're still pieces of plastic crap. There's no respect there for you. And they're thick and heavy, which is another thing. And the battery time still isn't that great. Although ones that do come out with excessively good battery power right now, they tend to be very thin. Yes, they are a little bit better built, but they're not very powerful computers. That's the problem. They have no real balls on the hood, and you're still paying a lot of money. And that I don't think is fair. So think about it that way too, right? Desktop systems, they're getting pretty pricey nowadays too. And you're constantly upgrading something. It's kind of like it's never ending. But at least the benefit is with PCs so far, over 87% of them out there on the market are still upgradable by the end user and by technicians. The rest of them, even the technicians can't do squat with, because they're just prefixed systems, pre-built. You get what you pay for, which is garbage, and you deal with it. If you want something decent, pony up the dough for a decent PC, pony up the dough for a Mac. It's kind of your option. Anyway, I think that should cover it for this video about pros and cons for Windows. So stay tuned for our pros and cons on the Macs, because they're going to be getting nailed to a cross as well with a lot of their goods and bads too. So they're not perfect either. And trust me, we definitely have some good juicy stuff for you on that one. All right, see ya.